All right, here we go. First album review of 2025 and first video of 2025 overall. I took a week or so off of YouTube after finishing my list for the best albums of 2024. I got that out on December 31st, but now after taking a bit of a break, I'm ready to get back into it. Plenty of great releases are looking to be coming out this year, and we've already seen quite a few. Last week, we got the new album from Paleface Swiss, Swiss deathcore group. I haven't checked it out, but maybe it's something I'll look into. And then January. January seems to be a pretty good month overall for releases, and this is the first of many. Today we are talking about the brand new album from Swedish melodeath supergroup The Halo Effect. This is titled March of the Unheard. So to start off, I don't really have a lot of context about most melodeath bands. I mean, I've heard some Children of Bodom, Arch Enemy, At the Gates, Amon Amarth, Dark Tranquillity, Black Dahlia Murder, and of course In Flames. But outside of those bands, I haven't really explored the scene too much. I've been made aware of the Halo Effect not too long ago when I was exploring albums coming out this month to check out, and I saw that it was a melodeath supergroup whose members were all at one point or another in Flames, so that intrigued me. I went into this kind of with no expectations, as, again, I'm kind of a newbie to melodeath. So just right off the bat, the album overall is very safe and kind of cookie cutter. It doesn't really take that many risks or try to push boundaries or anything. The band just plays very inoffensive, standard melodic death metal that's a callback to the classic In Flames era circa Clayman and Reroute to Remain. And whether that's a bad thing or not, I still kind of have yet to figure out. The production is just that stereotypical modern metalcore, deathcore mix with the drums that sound a little too clean and honestly kind of soulless. The bass kind of making just burbling sounds in the background, and then guitar tones that here honestly sound pretty weak and could have been a little more roughed up. I know melodeath is known for having pretty cleaned up production, which is why black metal elitists hate it, but come on, this is just a little too safe. So yeah, pretty much all of the songs here just follow a very similar or almost the exact same structure at times. Introduce riff, verse, chorus, sometimes with clean vocals, maybe a solo here and there with harmonized melodies. And I mean, that stuff's cool in this context, but it just becomes stale when that's all you're doing throughout an entire LP for 45 minutes. I mean, there's some stuff to switch it up here, but I mean, for the most part, some people have argued that this is very cookie cutter and stuff. And I was listening to this and I'm just kind of and this is stuff I've just kind of already heard all before. There's nothing really new. I mean, okay, we have tracks like Cruel Perception and What We Become, and the title track, which all do the anthemic stuff pretty well, and are great callbacks to those early In Flames and Dark Tranquillity days. But then listening to these and then going through the rest of the album, everything feels, again, pretty samey. I know these guys have been doing this stuff for a quarter of a century, and we can't really expect them to take a lot of risks or make a huge innovation at this point, but I mean, they could have at least done something to change it up a little. I mean, again, like I said, they do try to change things up maybe a little in tracks like Forever Astray and Between Directions. Those have some clean vocals thrown in here and there, but I mean, again, also it's already an established trait of the melodeath subgenre, especially with later In Flames stuff. A track like this Curse of Silence, which is a short instrumental that seeks directly into the title track, is cool. And I mean, I can see they're trying to switch things up a little bit, but again, at the end of the day, I mean, it's for the most part the same songs kind of written over and over again. The Burning Point is a pretty solid closer though, and makes great use of tension. Speaking of which, Coda was a pretty odd way to end the album. It feels very anticlimactic and probably should have been in the middle or something. The Burning Point, it should have just ended right there. I mean, because then we get to the last track on the album, it's if it was a short if it was 1.5 minutes or something, it wouldn't be as bad, but this is 3.5 minutes of just this weird acoustic noodling or something, and it's kind of a weird way to end the album. Again, like I said, I want to like this album, but I'm just not really in love with it. And with all due respect to these guys, who I've heard are the chillest dudes and have been behind some legendary albums, this isn't a bad effort overall. It's just, again, not a lot of new stuff has been here. Like I said before, I can see people arguing that these guys aren't trying to innovate or anything, which I can understand. I just kind of wish they hadn't played it so safe with this album. The production is, again, very safe, nothing too abrasive, and it just kind of gets to a point where it feels there could have been a little more passion here or something. I'm not saying this is passionless or even soulless, but Maybe he could have pushed it a little further and then maybe done some other cool stuff. Yeah, I'm gonna give this a respectable 70% out of 100. Not bad at all, not great either, just kind of in the middle. If you're a super fan of the classic late 90s and early 2000s melodeath scene and style, then you'll definitely be all over this. But for me personally, I probably won't be going back to this too much, save for maybe a couple tracks. A solid effort though. I mean, again, I wanted to enjoy this, and not that I didn't like it. It's just not really one I see myself revisiting a lot in the future, but not one that I like hated or anything. So again, if you're super into, classic In Flames, Dark Tranquility, that classic Swedish melodeath, and want to hear like some band doing it now or something, I'd recommend this, as I haven't listened to too much newer In Flames, but I've heard it's like just simply not that great, and they'll never top Clayman or anything. So, I mean, I would guess if you're not like super into modern In Flames, you'd probably enjoy this more than that. But yeah, this is just my opinion. Of course, I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. It's just kind of a meh album for me. Well, hope you enjoyed this review. I'm signing off. We got a couple more albums coming out in the next couple weeks. I'm looking to review the new Harakiri for the Sky album. I forget what it's called right now. And then at the end of the month, we do have a new album from All That Remains, as well as Pentagram. So excited for those. And I'll see you all later. Bye.